All right, thanks, everybody for coming out. We know it's a hot day, and we normally do it later than this, so I'm probably thinking that most people are waiting to normally do it at like 7 o'clock on this whole day. But I'm just glad and blessed that we're able to do it in a cool spot, and then a spot that not only honors my brother Tyrone West artwork, but all the victims of police artwork. So I wanted to talk about, before I started talking about my brother, I just wanted to talk about my sister Adina, who survived, because I just keep on thinking about the way this system, I'm trying to put it together, but how dirty the system is they want these things to seem like they're isolated incidents when they're not. It's systemically happening, it's happening all over. And until they take heed to what's going on, it's going to keep on going on, because they keep making it seem like it's over here, a little over there, when it's really, pretty much, it's like, instead of raindrops, we're in a thunderstorm. And it's horrible. And as I think about my sister, Adina, who had a home invasion, who put up her artwork and had put this whole thing together before we even got to the pill. You know, with the 600 commemoration, and then thank God that Dan put it in right. And I not just thank God for y'all, but they keep on making these incidents seem like they isolated. Like, why isn't anybody talking about Abdul? Why isn't anybody talking about it? They are survivors with the round. Like, they survived killing David Lewis. Not killing David Lewis, but killing Louise. The fact that nobody's correcting the issue. It was a surviving victim, and if they would have took and did something when it happened to Abdul, and then literally 24 hours when the route was attacked, my brother would still be here, because they failed and keep failing. And that's my problem. When are they going to stop failing us? Like, you're not doing nothing for my brother Tyrone West, what you're doing is setting the stage for Louise, David Lewis, and all those murderers to come and kill someone else or to brutalize someone else. Enough is enough. Like, how many more people gotta be silenced or murdered? Like, it's ridiculous. But the fact that the way that people play stuff off, like, you know, like, I feel like stuff is strategically done. It's like, oh, we made a mistake and we went to look at this or we forgot to add to. No, you did that purposely because y'all don't want the people to see what's really going on. Y'all really don't want the world to know that Ruiz is still working. He's the first killer. He's the first killer. And it's sad, like when I just messed up and I say David Lewis, because there's too many police officers that murdered one unarmed man. Way too many officers that I can't even keep up with their names. But the fact that the first one, Killer Ruiz, that started all this, nearly took Adina's life, and everybody just want to sweep her under. Sweep her under the rug, like, not highlight an artwork that's in here, that's beautiful, that everybody sees. And the fact that you can survive and go through and be able to take the full stand of not even, she don't never want to be seen. She don't even talk. She don't even talk and say anything, because she just always, and to me, I feel as though that is survivor's guilt. And nobody should have survivor's guilt. And it made me just, for a while, I feel it because I feel like, because I let my brother borrow my vehicle. Is this why we're here? If I would have told him no, if I would have told him no, could he possibly survive? I'm looking at this balloon that said 57. My brother was 44, a young man, 44, when he was executed, and he didn't even get to see his 57th birthday. And you're talking about 13 years, and no one's held accountable. No one's held accountable. When they climb in our face, they keep dragging us on. At this point, I feel like they're never going to do nothing. They're never going to do nothing. So I'm coming to that reality as I step into, and I'm not being hopeless. So let's not get it twisted. But in this system, it has failed my family completely. This is where I draw the line at, to feel like they're going to do something, because they're not. They're going to keep planning our face. They like when we just speak on, blogs and have protests. They like this stuff. And the sick part of this, they get off on this stuff. And normally I said I wasn't going to cry, but I'm a lot. Dealing with a lot. It's families that are dealing with a lot of stress right now, that's going through their own personal things. But the fact that my brother Tyrone West should still be here, he did nothing wrong that warranted him a death sentence. Honestly, nothing wrong. And they still, after 13 years, they still can't even say what he was going to be arrested for. Nothing, because everything was based upon a lie. Based upon a lie. And the fact that the tree came out and still doing nothing, it pretty much leads me to know they're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing with me going in my pocketbook, getting out $50,000 to get my brother's body examined off the ground. Do you know how hard the other thing that was to actually go through that type of trauma that came going back to where they buried my brother at, that I never would do. Like some people, they like going to like where their loved ones is laid to rest there. I would never go back there. And it took a lot for me to go there. That's why I wanted to talk about my sister Adina. Like, it took a lot for her to take the stance to put her artwork up here and have her beautiful artwork up here, and then it not even be more in that paper that we was upon. Her should have been the first one for the fact that she survived. And I'm honored, don't get me wrong, I'm honored that Brother did an excellent job with, but you missed my sister. That hurt me. You missed my sister. That was, and it's not just the fact, it's the fact that was she missed because Louise was a part of this? Was that the reason why she was missed? And that's what I think. They're trying to make me not give up on me per se, because the same way I get big people reach out to me that was going to cover, he was going to cover my brother's story. And literally at the last hour, they canceled it. And all they could tell me was, I'm sorry, Ms. Jones. You know, all the stuff you sent me, you know, that was good, but we just had to stop. I can't tell you why. Who is blackballing us? It makes no sense. I had this one reported documentary guy. He did an amazing documentary, and he was big time in New York City. He followed me for weeks. Mr. Joe followed me for weeks. Went to our church, went everywhere. Was supposed to do this big documentary. Just stop. It was going to change out on a 10-year commemoration of President. Just stop. No answer. Then you the big guy, and you want to say, oh, somebody brought you out. Yes, brought you out. This is being brought out. Brought out. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's go. People are being silenced for a reason, and that's to make these things seem like they are isolated. The fact that, like I said, Abdul, 2 weeks before my brother was burned, I'm standing over here. This man, in his driveway, who was the first one to pull up? Keller Ruiz. Who was in my sister in the house? Keller Ruiz. So if they would have took care of what happened in Abdul's salon, there would have been a derailment. And it certainly would have been a Tyrone West, and it certainly would have been them coming up, Louise coming up in there on my sister doing a home invasion. That would have never happened. Y'all not going to make it seem like it's isolated on my watch. No, you're not. Not today, little baby. It's not going to happen. I'm going to talk about it. And I don't care if it sounds crazy for the people that don't get it. If you but people that they know it's real. People can identify with me unless you wake up to your car tires being slashed, to your just all type of things. You can't even talk. I can't even go live on my phone when I'm doing protests. So we know it's not a protest. They have to go live. I'm on live now. It ain't all blurry, chopped up. Well, it might be now because I ain't working the camera. But the fact that we tried to go live in front of Northeast Police District last week, I didn't even try it, because I'm like, my camera was showing all blurry. It's all this focus is like, you can mess with my cameras, you can mess with this and that, but guess what? You would never mess with my, you would never mess with my look. I am looking as they come. I will never sell a solo for all the money in the world. You cannot pay me off. You cannot change my story. I am a living witness as to the corruption we don't do something, I promise you, there's going to be more Tyrone arrests. There's going to be more Tyrone arrests. And if y'all did something in this case, as a matter of fact, I can take it even further. If you could have did something with Shorty, been out here all the corruption and all the stuff that y'all did to Shorty. Y'all did nothing. Y'all did nothing. And that's why y'all always know that you want to give him that I guess freedom to call your own police in their face, slam that down with that camera and be like, hey, I'm calling you out. Because y'all he lost his son. He's a father that lost his son too. And then to be out here calling it out of snakes and calling the toilet bomber, all this foolishness before I met Shorty, I heard about him. One of you didn't know what I'm thinking. When I heard the name, I thought it was a Caucasian fellow. I said, damn, some crazy white man trying to blow up the courthouse. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Y'all know I don't lie. I'm being honest. But it wasn't until my brother got killed when I met the toilet bomber who's not a toilet bomber, who does activism, do artwork. But that's how the turnout is against you. If you don't know these stories, if you're not your own conscious consumer, you will believe what the media tell you. I thought Dwayne Davis was a white Caucasian person that had all his phones gone that was trying to go in the house. That's how I've been way out in the head. White shut down. They spent millions of dollars for my brother shut down. I know that. I'm like, oh my God, what crazy white man is trying to blow up their courthouse. That's what I thought. And then when I heard on the television about Anthony Anderson, that was a year before my brother, I'm thinking, oh, this poor guy. Dad, he swallowed drugs because he was right out there slinging and they caught him. Poor guy. I felt sorry for him. Poor guy. Poor guy. Because I thought, in my mind, that police officers could, like, I know it's bad and everything, but I didn't think it was corruption like that. But until I met Anthony Anderson's family, and to know that he was literally killed on his grandbaby's birthday, that breaks my heart. That he did not have any drugs, and then they try to spin that same narrative about my brother. They try to say he's smart. They got Bill Henry on him to come up there with a statement and say, Mr. West pretty much induced, like swallowed some, ingested some drugs, and he died. That's what he said, and we might check it, and that's when I met Shut Him Down Shorty, who shut him down. Who shut them completely down. And I seen this man hanging up signs all around the police district talking potty training politicians. And now I see why you're potty training forever. But again, if they would have took he and Shorty, there would have been an Abdul. There certainly would have been a Tyrone West. There certainly would have been a Dean and Herman and Durrell Hurst. And then we would have never ever had the uprising. With Freddie Grant, this black young man, he took the photographs, got a chance to meet him. And the stuff that, the people that are meeting, I feel like I'm in the nightmare that I can't wake up. Right. Because when my brother was murdered, our last conversation was talking about Trayvon Martin's mother. Literally, when the verdict came in, I'll never forget how the television does. They waited till on a Saturday. Now mind you, nobody really watches the news on the weekend. Everybody, the one they think with their family celebrate. But literally, that verdict of George Zimmerman came in on that Saturday. Literally, and I was devastated. And my first thing was, I said, I don't even drink. I said, I need to drink. I called my little girl, like, I need to drink. Not knowing that within a week, he would be dead. He would be slaughtered. He would be murdered, tortured, in broad daylight. Not knowing. But this is my reality. Let's go back to that time. So we're talking about George Zimmerman murder, not guilty, a smack in the face, and they did it secretly on the weekend to come out with that verdict. They could have waited till Monday, but they know people will be watching. So they tried to sneak it in on the television on a Saturday when everybody doing business as usual. And I was upset. And then that Sunday, my big brother and me went to my church that I'm still going to this day. We went, got the word of God, and I'll never forget leaving that church. My brother, as he was walking down the church steps, pulling up his side, never forget him saying, I felt like our bishop was talking to me when he said it seemed like Black lives don't matter. Because he was my pastor was talking about Tyrone at church. He was just like, I'm not gonna touch on it, but Black lives seem like it don't matter. But y'all be careful. And that registered to my brother. That would be the last ceremony on earth that Mr. West would receive. And with that, he said, sis, I felt like he was talking to me. He said, I had such a spiritual awareness, awakening. I don't know what was going on. It seemed like you and everybody disappeared. And it seemed like me and the bishop was in the church by ourselves. I was like, and I brushed it off because I did not want to hear or think about nothing bad happening to my brother. I'm like, I don't want to talk about my brother. And that was why I said, and let's go on home. And then that Monday, I went to work. He went to work, fine, Wednesday, and I'll never forget that Thursday, which when my brother got killed on July 18, 2013. You can fact since that was a Thursday. And I'll never forget, he woke me up that morning. He woke me up and said, sis, you good? And I said, yeah, I'm good, what's up? He said, come on and get me. I'm ready to take you to work. I'm like, all right, cool. Went and got him, not knowing that this was our last experience. And then went to work, typical day, beautiful, because my brother was here, my family was here, it was all good and happy. Went to work, typical day, in the summertime, still teaching, just like yesterday, my class teachers had a problem. At work, I'm tired as hell of it, but I'm here. But the whole point, still doing what I do. And then he calls me and tells me, hey sis, I'm out there. I'm outside of the school. You're right. I'm like, oh, at 5:30, I'm gonna die. I come out, and interestingly that day, I'll never forget it, had officers from that same district that murdered my brother. Because my co-teacher at the time, her husband worked at that district. He was out there with the program for the students at my camp. Now, I'll never forget it. And he had a dad, it was a dad program. It was a dad, it was some kind of program that I can say without things me. And I'll never forget going into the car, and I'll never forget having that dad. And then I had my heels in, I had my heels on. I told Papa Trump so I can take my heels off and get my slippers on, or whatever. He's like, what you want to say? I got to get my slippers. And I said, what you got that teddy bear? And me and this conversation struck as soon as I got in the car. And I said, we just had Officer Friendly in my school. And he said, wow, they still exist? And I said, yeah. So I'm in my mind thinking they still exist. And Lord knows how long that was. So here it is, I put the damn bag there, I throw my heels back there, I got my slippers in, all that. I hate my ID badge up, because I'm going to try to cap the notes up that day. I'm going to try to be y'all on these sentences. I hate my ID badge, my school ID, that says Wanda Jones teacher, name of the school, was in my car. Hang that up, got my registration all in there. Me and him go, we buy food. Because I don't want to cook that day. Because he's like, sis, you cooking on me? I said, no, bro, it's too hot. He said, all right, I'll treat us together. We literally went to this space, I'll never forget, on 25th Street. He purchased us that. And I'll never forget, the guy asked him, he said, you have your ID? Because on his credit card, he signed, make sure you show ID. That was on his credit card. Because he didn't want nobody. And that's when literally he had to go car. He was like, go sis, hold on, I gotta go back in the car real quick to get my ID. Went back, got his driver's license, showed them, paid for our food. And at the time, he would himself 2 big Deer Park water bottles and his dinner with my dinner. And then that's when the phone call came from a young lady he barely knew, who I think they sent her. Who I think, now we talk about the gun trace task force, who set brothers and sisters up around the world, planting drugs on, setting up their scenarios. I think they sent her. I really did. I really did. Because the stuff that were how she moved was how she moved, but I think the police department sent her because he barely knew her. But anyway, he goes to pick her up. He like, all right. And then at the time, my oldest daughter was only 16, baby. She was working her first little McDonald's job, and I'll never forget when after he left me, and he said, sis, I'll be back. Me not knowing, I'm locking eyes, and before before he got out the car, he said, "Hey, sis, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why you say that? He said, "I know you was real upset about the Tyrone Martin's verdict that just came out last week. You good now?" I said, "Not really, but I'm better." And they said, "Oh, okay." He said, "We gotta worry about all the George Zimmermans in our community." And I said, "That's deep, bro. What you mean?" And he said, "I'll tell you that." I would never, but his story is the story. He didn't get to finish the story to tell me, but America told this story about all the George Zimmermans right here in our community. All the George Zimmermans that wear badges. That wear badges. And then literally I get a call. Well, I didn't get a call. Let's be crystal clear, because no one never called me. I got a call from the Lord that said something wasn't right with my brother. Pain in my neck, my body started hurting, all of it. It was to the point I fell out my bed. I thought I was having a medical emergency. It only lasted about 10 minutes. And instantly I got myself up off the floor, and I'm like, something's not right with my big brother. And literally, it came to pass on the 10 o'clock news, as I'm still calling my family, even calling, reaching out to one of my ex who was a police officer. Not even knowing what a Signal 13 was, I took the nerve to call my ex and say, "Hey, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm acting off the spirit of God." I said, "Did you just get a Signal 13? And the first thing he told me, he said, "Yeah, about 20 minutes ago." I was like, "Oh my God, that's my brother." He was like, "What you mean?" I said, "My brother's listening. He not answering the phone. He got my green Mercedes Benz. Please don't see. You know I call. You know my brother." He said, "Well, I'm acting this." He said, "But you going crazy. That don't mean that there's nothing wrong with your brother." The officers that discussed. I said, "I don't care what that Signal 13 means. I'm telling you what my spirit said. Could you go check that Signal 13 out?" He came about this again. Everybody thought I was losing my mind that day. Everybody. I even to the point, my beautiful daughter, like I said, just started coming down to her. And I called her at work, not knowing what was going on, but I knew her uncle wasn't coming to get her that day. I know it, because my spirit had already told me, prepared me. And I literally called her, and I said, "Hey," I said, "I hate to call you like this." I said, "But you want to get a cab home tonight." "Why, Ma?" I said, "So happy at work." I said, "Something bad happened to your uncle." And I did not really tell my baby something like this. But you know what? I said, "Baby, I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out." That sounds crazy to her as well. Like, that sounds crazy to her as well. But I'm a spiritual person. I always act in the spirit. But I'm like, "Baby, I don't know what happened, but I know something bad happened. I'm going to keep you posted." And God knows, 10 o'clock on the news, I'm calling my Aunt Diane. I'll never forget. I'm on the phone. "Hey, Aunt Diane, did y'all hear something?" She said, "Yeah, we done called their homicide. We done called different police districts. Nobody has Mr. Russ something." And I'll never forget, my ex came in and he said, "You were right." And I said, "Right about what?" He said, "They killed your brother." And I said, "What?" And that means, I tell you, my whole life changed. At that moment, a part of me died. A part of me died with my brother. But at that moment, it made that pain hurt me so bad, it made me question God. And it made me be thankful that I had children, because I didn't even want to be here no more. That pain was that devastating. Like, you know, wow. Me and my brother was just at church last Sunday, and you mean to tell me he's gone? No. No, it questioned my integrity, it questioned everything. But I got up off that floor, and I'm like, "No, it's not real." But it was real. And I got up, and immediately I knew there was a lot of work to be done. And I can hear the voice of the Lord say to me, "Your brother didn't suffer, but you got a lot of work to do." I didn't sign up for this, y'all. I'd have rather been with my family, doing family things, minding my own business. But however, I was pulled into this, and I won't leave. I will never leave this fight. You can't hate me all right now. I don't care what you do, it's not stop. And I believe when my cousin Tyrone was murdered, right on the West Wednesday early morning, literally 12:30, 5 years ago, when he was murdered. Literally, it is coincidence, but when you live life, I don't believe in coincidence no more. Because to me, I believe that everything happens for a reason. But the fact that my cousin Tyrone, who was on the front line, who as I look at this around this beautiful museum, and I see family members that are no longer here, that was a part of, big parts of this. But literally for my cousin Tyrone Anderson to get murdered by a white boy, a white serial killer, a serial killer. Literally, Everett Sports, a serial killer, that they did his identity for 5 years, but they tried to bring us accountability. We still don't got it. We still don't got it. But they still like, really? Like you literally murdered other people after, and I believe he tried to kill. Yes, because literally when I was in after my cousin got murdered, I'm at my car and we ain't phone call. And I know all this sounds crazy, but if it goes over your head, let it go over your head. I don't care. I speak my truth. I speak the truth. And I come with receipts. But that day after, and mind you, the white boy, serial killer, was on the run for a minute. They didn't tell me, had it not been for my sister telling me. Once I found out this man's name, that they had him in Virginia. Had him in Virginia. Had him in Virginia. And they told my family nothing. But the fact that that day, and I know they all on my phone, they've been on my phone for years, but that day, it was 2 days after my cousin got killed, I'm taking my son to go get a haircut. And I was supposed to leave him at the barber shop, but he begged because he's spiritual like me. He like, "Ma, can I ride with you to the sub shop?" Because the barber said it was going to be a minute to cut his son. I'm like, "Son," he was like, "All right, you can stay," but I'm supposed to have been by myself. So I'm like, "All right, come on with me." I get up in front of the same sub shop, and coincidentally, it's the same sub shop, the last sub shop that me and my brother, I told y'all to take notes. Me and my brother went and got food that day before he got executed. It was that same restaurant. I'm right there at that same restaurant, waiting on my food. But I'm glad my instinct say, "Don't turn my car, keep my car running." I got my car running. My son was inside. I had five, so you can't see unless you come around the front. So whoever sees me pull up don't know I got my son in the car. So anyway, I get a phone call, a distracting phone call, and I put it on Facebook. And y'all can go back to my archives. I literally pick up the phone, and somebody's using sound like they're using an accent, but like they're trying to hide their voice. And they're like, "Hello, can you speak to Wanda?" And I'm like speaking. They was like, "Ruiz told me to call you." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" Ruiz said, "Call you, put you down." And I'm like, "I know you lying." And I'm like, "I know you lying." Like, why they say there's a black number? That's what got me to say black number, private number. And I'm like, I pick it up. And it's saying that Ruiz, one of the first officers that murdered my brother, put me down as, and I'm like, "What?" So the call hung up. I looked up, I'm like, look up, white boy walk across the front of my car, hoodie on, face mask is mine, it's in COVID time. He got a face mask on, or whatever, jumped in front of my car, then he looked shocked. He looked like he was caught like a dead cord in the head, like his eyes got big when he seen my son. But he proceeds to come on my son's side and knock on the car door with something heavy that I believe was a gun. Knocking on my car, I saw like my brother, I said, "You ain't got to tell me," and I'm going to go to what I'm saying is details, because he had all black. And then literally, his hoodie came back, and he had a big, I seen a tattoo on his neck. So I'm telling everybody, this is white looking man, he was a short guy, with a tattoo on his neck, with a face mask on, with a big old head that tried to do something. And sure enough, that after they killed the killer, because literally, I'm not after they killed the killer, after they caught the killer, it looked like it could have been him. And he kept looking back at me in the courtroom over and over and over again. When I told you about when I didn't take the hush money and somebody tried to ride me over in my car on Bel Air Road, the lady riding down the street with her hands wrapped around the wheel, then her hands with her legs wrapped around the steering wheel. People looked at me like I was crazy until I came down with the seat and said, "Hey, literally this happened." And then the guy pulled up, all these white shirts pull up to an accident scene. And the street, she tried to hit me, then she dumped back. Couldn't do it. And I'm like, it's sitting so bad. I went back, I knew being greedy, went back to go get some cupcakes. Cupcakes often saved my life. Went back, got my cupcakes, came back out, like a hair point. Came back out, and the same car, silver car that was stalking me for weeks, y'all, because I kept putting up this silver car, keep following me. Every time I'm coming with receipts, because you don't come with receipts, people don't believe me. So I had my receipts, and sure enough, came back around and started me. She busted the door and hit my car. Thank God. Thank God. But again, nobody believes you. So again, that's why I started off by talking about my sister. These are not isolated incidents. This is what they do. They try to silence us. You're not going to silence us. You bet you're not going to silence me, buddy. It's not going to happen, Captain. I'm going to keep telling the truth. 13 long years of blood, sweat, and tears. My story, the truth, has never changed. And it never will. One unarmed man, brutally unalive for no reason. Could have still been here. Would have been 57 his last birthday. 44 at the time. He's forever 44. Literally. It is so very disturbing. But again, I'm going to let y'all know I'm going to continue to fight, not only just for my big brother Tyrone, but for all the victims of police brutality and murder. It's never going to stop. And they took something special from my family, because again, when they snatch our loved ones, at that time when they take us, we mean nothing to them. We mean nothing to them. All we is just another black, you know what. We're nothing to them. That's just it. They can kill us and go or attack us and go sit there with their loved ones and go hug their loved ones. And meanwhile, we gotta live through this pain and turmoil. But again, I'm not gonna stop fighting. You took an artist, as I look at all my brother artwork, and then it hurts me because the way I see Anson's artwork, I'm always want him to meet an artist and connect to have his stuff in the gallery. But I wanted him to be present. I wanted him to be present. I always wanted to have his stuff in the gallery museum and him to be present. But he is not here. Why this is very important. And I said I'm a spiritual person. Because I remember that night when me and Dad was talking about what we was going to call this. And me and him got together and we said the words literally almost at the same. A lot of people out there, as I do, where they murdered my brother, and I have to go there and let these balloons up in the air. But again, we're never going to stop fighting. It's real. And these glad if you're only able to see this from a point where you're not affected, be glad that it's not your family, because it's awful. Literally, I had 2 friends to go to this upcoming week. 2 people that were near me. One being most important, my auntie, and then a close friend of the family that I have to go to on Monday. It's sad. So I just tell everybody, enjoy your loved ones. Enjoy your loved ones while you got it. Because the time we take for granted and thinking that you can hold an attitude with somebody and thinking that you got tomorrow to make it up later on, you better make it right now, because tomorrow ain't promised to none of us. Tomorrow was not promised to none of us. And even throughout all of this happening, I don't hate anyone. I don't wish death on anyone. What happened to my brother and what's happened to these brothers, sisters, mothers, what happened to Shorty's son, all these fathers, I don't wish this pain on no one. Not even the cops that killed my brother, not even the ones that took his life. I don't wish this on them. And my sister Angela, she wanted to be here, and she would have been here. Her brother Timothy was executed. Literally in his home. In his home. In front of his kids. That is disgusting. And these killer cops still walking around. What they do, they murder us and move on. And you see, it's not isolated. Donnell Rochester, this baby, this beautiful baby, just still be here. Not on the wall, should still be here. Darnell Rochester. Mom with a car for him, thinking she was going to keep him safe. Her baby, her joy. He did beautiful artwork, making clothing, fashion design. And a baby was murdered. And guess by who? From the killers of Northeast District Police. They are deadly, they're reckless, they're ratchet. They're the ones with the gun trace test, but they're the most ratchet, disgusting unit in Baltimore. Probably in America. They are reckless, I'm talking reckless. And the weekend they stopped at the gun trace task force. Something must be wrong with us. They're still ratchet and ruthless. So I just urge y'all, be careful. But again, this baby should be here. Someone's only child, Xavier, should be here. Xavier should be here with his mom. The two in the fights right now, these mothers are losing their only children, or even losing a child, even losing their only child. But the fact that I never ever want to lose none of my children. Never. No family deserves to lose a child. Our children are supposed to marry us. But at the end of the day, we know one day we all gotta go. We all gotta go. That's just a part of life. That's the saddest part of life. We all gotta go. My only prayer has ever been, please let my children bury me when it's my time. And that's prayer. When it's my time, please. So again, I love you guys. Just remember, the world has a lot of hate, but only love can break the dead. Just love one another. Love what you're doing. Bless you. Love what you're doing. Just love each other. Life is too short. I don't care how long you live. You can live to be 100 or something. That's not long enough to show love. Just enjoy your family members while you got it. Because when they're not here, it's a whole different beast. And I'm praying to send love to my cousin Samaya and my cousin Jamie, because their mothers no longer here. We got to bury her this week on Wednesday. I'm sending love to Uncle Bill, who had to bury his on life coming up. So I'm sending love to all the families that are going through something. Just remember, live to love, love to live. I love you guys all. And if anybody want to say anything, I'll open up the mic. But if not, I'll just rest. Anybody want to say something? Mic check.
Mic check.
I just wanted to say that thank everybody for coming out here and supporting my family all this time. He died 13 years ago, and the only way that I can properly breathe is I'm not thinking about him so much as a human and who he was. He was an amazing person that I was robbed from. I didn't get to, like my uncle didn't get to watch me graduate. My uncle didn't get to do a lot of things with me, and it hurts so much. And I just feel so sorry for my mom because she's so amazing and she does so much for so many people. And the fact that she doesn't have him there, like if my uncle was alive, he was her best friend. He was her biggest supporter. He was so amazing. He was like, I just miss him so much. And it never gets easier. Like I thought, okay, following him is easy, following you is easy, but it never gets easy. Like I just want him back. I just want him back. I want to see his artwork. I want to hear him make one of his jokes. Like my uncle was an amazing person, and I never will get to see him again. It just hurts so much. It just does. Follow him.
No, but I just want to tell you that he is still with you. You gotta remember, every time he comes, when he saved you from that terrible accident on the highway, when he shows up at your graduation, when he even showed up at your brother Tyrone graduation. Literally, and that was another spirit that he's with us. They can never take his spirit away. Physically, our body there, but this body ain't forever anyway. This body belongs to God. but our soul belongs to God. This body belongs to earth, but our soul belongs to God. And God makes us show his head all the time to let us know that he loves and protects us. So he's proud of you. He don't want you to be miserable. He is so proud of you. I remember he told me, his profound words was, he says, I'll tell you something. He always trying to shut you down on a nice note. He said, yeah, you're the bomb, but he says, I'm telling you, Kim, she got something on top of you. I'm telling you, she gonna be a beast. I'm telling you, she gonna be the boss. And he told me this kind of emotion, you know how proud this girl literally got her master's degree, everything. He keeps pushing over. I'm so proud of him. He's super duper proud of him. Just keep on being amazing. That's why he wants us to be. Yeah. When I just pray for every tear that we cry, I pray those same tears for these people that are hurting us. I pray the same tears for the ones that want to get in the comments, the little trolls that go on Facebook, phone gangsters, and all that stuff, and write all this foolishness up when people are going through hurting time. I wish you the pain that we go through. I wish you this pain. But again, I say live to love, love to live. I love you all. This is a hateful world. But again, I don't wish death on nobody. I just wish this pain on you so you can feel how real it is. To have your child being literally messed up. To have this younger son who's still suffering in this dirty system because his father, his daughter, his kids, like I love them. They're all suffering because their father is no longer with them right now. But again, we're always going to start to connect because life came to take us apart. Like life cannot take us apart. It's going to be my big brother forever. We're going to keep fighting for him. And again, just remember, smile, take pictures. That's why I take a picture every day. All of these are memories. Tell people that you love them while they're still here. Give people their flowers now. Don't wait. Because if they're in the casket, that's too late. You know, it's still good, but that's too late. Right now, we're loving the lovers. That's my message for the day, and that has always been my message. Live to love to live. I love you guys. Mic check.
Mic check.
I got the same problem with Greg. That's one person, all I don't know that we said